And where are my notes? Oh, good morning or good afternoon or good night, wherever you are. This is HC, and I'm very glad to welcome DB Rook to this corner of the interwebs today. Thanks for being here, DB. And please sit there uncomfortably while I give a little introduction here. Today's video is the second, probably, in the series of chats that I'm doing this year for Self-Published Authors Appreciation Week. These are another attempt on my part to focus on the publishing aspect of that title. We all have ideas, probably romanticized, I think I said before, about what goes on in the authoring part of being a self-published author. Odds are that's why we appreciate them the most. But the more I learn about what they have to do on the publishing side of things, the more I appreciate their efforts. And I'm sorry, but I can't find my mouse, so I am running out of my intro. Okay, this is embarrassing. Anyway, we all know there's more than just typing some stuff into a Word document, throwing it up onto Amazon or Smashwords, and then kick back and getting some money rolling in. Now, riches, I'm sure, as any self-published author would tell you. There's more to it than that, and I want to talk about that. First of all, DB, how did you learn the process, or how are you learning the process? Are you watching videos? Are you reading articles? Are you talking to the connections that you've made on the Beardsman? Oh, by the way, why don't you introduce yourself to the folks? See, that's step one, and then we'll get to the question.
Hello, yes, I'm DB Rook. I'm one of the 4 beardsmen of the Book Apocalypse podcast, and I am the author of currently 2 novels, Carlos and Crow, the Western post-apocalyptic vampire horror steampunk, and Residuum, which is a sci-fi novella, Firefly-esque, big spiders, genocidal robots, space pirates. And I'm very happy to be here. But okay. Fire away your questions.
So yeah, like I was saying, how did you learn about doing all of this stuff? Was it videos, reading things, whoever you talked to on the Beardsman, including the other Beardsmen?
The initial when Carlos and Crow came out, I was literally clueless about anything. I spent a long time writing a book, didn't really look into how you then put it out there. It was arguably a terrible launch where it was like, I'm here, there's a book. And then since then, I've got to know a lot of people. Like you say, I've joined the podcast. I've got a lot of people who have got the same headaches and the same hurdles as me. So I've learned a lot from meeting people, from falling in holes, from people being frustrated about various aspects. And I think I have learned a lot. I've got, hopefully this year, the next book in that series will be out, and we'll find out whether I've learned enough to make it a better launch or not.
Actually, that was going to be my next question. Is after that release, have you looked back and like, okay, here's some things that I really should have done better, or here's some stuff I did okay?
Absolutely, yeah. So on the kind of the author groups, the Facebook groups, the pages, all the stuff on social media, I felt very much like I can't announce myself as an author if I haven't got a book that I wrote. So I just stayed in the background, soaked a few things up, and then the book came out and I was like, ta-da! But that wasn't the way. That wasn't the way to sort of generate a bit of enthusiasm. It was difficult. I mean, eventually I did get some interest. People saw the cover, people read the book, and it did start to build, but it came from nothing. And now I understand, you've got to put arcs out there, you've got to tease a few things, you've got to reveal your cover, you've got to get all those kind of juices flowing. So when it does hit, people actually want to read it already rather than having to discover it 6 months later.
That's a good point. And I want to get back to that cover later, because that is an eye grabber, flat out. How did the launch of Residuum go compared? to that?
Well, actually, that's a good question, because I think I did do a better job of it. I did put arcs out. I did tease it a little bit, but it was in another genre. I think that was the problem, because I've landed in the kind of fantasy, post-apocalyptic, sort of horror-ish end of fantasy. Sci-fi is very sci-fi. It's very spacey, and it didn't do that well. But it's also a novella as well, so it's only a small book. It didn't have the results that I wanted it to out of the gates. It's slowly building. The audiobook's out now. That's give it a bit of a boost. But I think I didn't pay attention to the fact that I'm now shouting into a sci-fi space rather than a fantasy space. I think that was my biggest sort of problem with that one.
Sure. Do you think that might have been better with a larger fan base for Callus and Crow, maybe? Or do you think you've just siloed yourself?
I think what I really should have done is put out the next Callus and Crow book. But sadly, I got distracted by a shiny thing and had to go and write something else, which is another thing that millions of authors do. But I think for my own sort of well-being and to make the next Callus and Crow book a better book, I needed a break from those characters, a break from the formula, a break from the sort of epistolary kind of way of writing, and I needed to go and write something a bit more. I mean, it's not saying there's no depth to it, but it's a bit more of a fun adventure rather than the depths of people's hunger and depravity that Callus and Crow does.
Okay, all right, that's a good way to put it. By the way, I haven't got to Residium yet, but you're making me more eager to get to it. So you work on one project at a time. You're not one of those who's like dabbling, working a little bit on this and a little bit on that, or
I kind of I do have several ideas going, and I will I will outline and I will mess about with various things, but I also know that if I don't then knuckle down and get progress to happen, then nothing will get finished. So I kind of dabble, I set my stall out a little bit, and then I go, right, focus, and I try and get that done.
Okay.
I don't always succeed at that, but I try.
Sure. Or you find yourself like, I'm stuck in this world, or my brain's not working, so I got to go play in another world for a little bit.
Yeah, that's very much how I've done things. So I've got several. I mean, I guess series that have got different aspects of the things I love to read. So if I need to write a bit more of a classic fantasy, dark short story, I've got a kind of vehicle for that now in my Shadows of the Collegiate short stories, which will eventually become a book, but they are very slow burn, and they're more to aid my mind than for anything else, because we all need to go back to the roots of why we love fantasy every now and then and write something about more classic sort of tropes. But having said that, I like to mess with genres. I like to write things that are fresh and new perspectives, and that's my main love. But sometimes you need a bit of comfort food, don't you? You need to write a short story about a guy with a sword. So I've got a place to put that now.
Oh, good. So editors, how many do you use? Are you all self-contained? And how do you work that into your process?
Yeah. So again, Callus and Crow was entirely edited by myself. I did get a developmental edit just because I was unsure whether it even worked as a story, because it was such a new concept for me. So I got a bit of guidance, but not like a line edit. So that is pretty much all my own work. As I moved into the next Wayward World book and Residuum, I got an editor who's wonderful and works very much in a way that is, this is a book. I'm not trying to hijack it. I'm trying to work with how you write, which I really appreciate. So there's no conflict or resistance in any suggestions. He's great, and I intend to stick with him as long as I can afford to stick with him. I also have beta readers who are I would say go way, way beyond the role of a beta reader. They are like second editors, really, and they are absolutely worth their weight in gold. And I really do appreciate their input. And I guess the problem there is I've kind of got three main people that are looking at my work and chipping in with different issues. So obviously, if somebody's saying, "Oh, you always put a comma in the wrong place," that's like a mechanical thing I can fix. But three people were saying, "I think this character should lean more towards this or that." It can become a problem because you respect every opinion and you've got your own opinion. You kind of got to boil it together and decide which route you're going to go with. But I'd rather have more options than none. So absolutely appreciate that. But it does make it, once you've got a book written, you've then got to do all the bits to actually put it into a book. And a lot of people are telling you different things about how to make it the best book it is. It's a difficult time. And that's kind of where I am with the next Code World book. It's finished. I'm waiting on comments. I'm chipping away in it and polishing various bits and figuring out what to listen to and what to not listen to, which is difficult.
Sure. Yeah. I heard, some TV writer years ago on a podcast, and I've heard other people say the same thing. And I don't know, maybe you've found this, that the editors or studio executives, in that guy's point of view, can point out what's not working, but he doesn't necessarily buy their fix. He doesn't necessarily like their fix, but something with what they're pointing out isn't working, and so you can address that your own way. Is that your experience, or are you basically like, you know what, editor, you're absolutely right, let me just follow you?
Yeah, sometimes that is the case. So sometimes, because you know everything in your own head, you're not spelling it out properly for a reader who doesn't know that information, and an editor says, "Why the hell can this guy fly? You need to explain that." And it's like, brilliant, yes, thanks for catching that, I will do that. But sometimes I will get a comment that is, I don't know, this particular theme needs to do this or that and that, and I suggest this. And like I say, I'm not resistant, but I like to solve it my own way. I like to be told what the problem is and to solve it my own way. Otherwise, it'll seem like every now and then there's a paragraph written by somebody else, and that surely can't be a good thing. So I listen, I take on board the actual problem, and I solve the problem with the help of the data that is being presented.
Right. Yeah. I don't do a lot of beta reading, but I did one. Well, I guess it was last year now, and there was one particular scene. I'm like, this just isn't working. I'm thinking a total rewrite needs to be done, or chuck it. One of the two. The author comes back with the exact same scene, but one line of dialogue at the end. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. That's all I needed.
Yeah. I think as authors we've become very efficient with what we can do with a word, and not suggesting that entire manuscript is efficient, but if there's a problem that you don't write 10 chapters, you can kind of weave in a thread of gold that will solve quite a few problems.
Exactly. All right. And so, how did you find these two editors? Is this again asking for help?
So my main editor, all from different places really. My main editor was I submitted a story for a grimdark anthology, and the editor that was working on that was interested in the story, but there was quite a fundamental issue with how it was being told, and it was very early on, so I completely respected his opinion. I rewrote it because I wanted to get in an anthology, and just the way he was basically telling me my whole story had a main problem, but he told me in a very collaborative way, which I really appreciated. I did change that. It did work. All the things he said, there was he wasn't kind of happy and like, get rid of that. He was very collaborative, and I really like that. And I asked if he would work on future work, he then went away and read Callous and Crow and said, absolutely, I would love to work with you on the next book. So he's now in my pocket and he belongs to me forever. And that's great. The Beaters one is another author who I've got to know just by being around authors, and I respect his work. He respects my work. So we both kind of try and do a bit of beatering for each other, which is nice. And the other guy is just a guy I didn't know that well. I just got chatting to in sort of personal life, just a bit of a friend. And then he said, oh, I'd happily have a look at your work. And always you kind of a bit, do you know what you're talking about? I hope so, because you might have no clue whatsoever. And then he came back with a very extensive report of absolutely everything. He's an absolute hero, and he's remained on board ever since.
Okay, that's cool. And so yeah, one of the things I keep hearing is it really is this community of self-published authors that are really, you stumble into it just because you're both doing the same thing, and then all of a sudden they become a beta reader or they connect you with this is how I love the kind of collaborative nature of this kind of, we're all on the same team part of the self-published author world. It's definitely don't feel like it's a zero-sum game where I gotta succeed, and you know.
And you would think with the state of things, you would think that would be the case because there's millions of books out there, there's millions of readers, but I've never experienced any of them, and no one's ever sort of stood in my way to get more exposure for themselves in any shape or form. It's been fantastic, and I kind of I'm in a band as well. I play in bands, and not to say everybody's like this, but I have certainly experienced in the music industry people putting you off to make sure they get the exposure, and I expect that from this world, but I've never seen it. It's so amazing. I love it, which is why I'm happy to be on anything like this and promote the whole community.
Okay, so now let's talk about cover art and interior design and all that other stuff. How did you find the artist for Callous and Crow? I mean, for a debut, that cover, man.
I do get a lot of comments about the cover, and I was quite nervous because again, it's a new thing. I'm trying to do something. I was trying to do something quite new, but not so new and original that nobody knows what kind of book it would be. And this is a guy who I've known for many years, not very closely, and he specializes in artwork on blackboards for pubs and bars and things like that. That's what his business is. He's not a cover guy. He's a big reader, but he's just an artist, and he's just really good. And I met with him, and I got talking to him about writing a book. I sent him an early version, and he really liked the story, and he was like, yeah, I'll definitely do covers. And then I was like, if you do my cover, can you also do the following covers in several years' time when the series is like 3 books long? And he agreed, and he's currently working on the next cover. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's I love it. I love how different it is. The next cover will be different again because the book is different, but hopefully it will still have the same impact.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm guessing he didn't do Residuum.
No, Residuum is because it was a novella, and it was kind of, not saying I didn't put time into writing it, but I wrote it pretty quick because I had that need to write something fun. And it's a novella, and I didn't want to take too much attention away from the main series. So this was not AI, but like I don't know how to describe it, like manipulated imagery. So I picked some images. I designed the thing myself in terms of the kind of the squint, and you'll see the face of a main character in there. But I got them to manipulate a load of images, which I picked, and they put it together. And I mean, you never really know whether your cover hits home until people actually mention it. But I like it, and I think it says what's in the book. Just a very different sort of route, really, because it's only a book. It was in sci-fi again, which is not something I've done before. But it's got big spiders on it, which I enjoy. Yeah, just a different genre. And again, like I said before, I think jumping into another genre, people should sort of respect that, because I'm not sure I did. I just wrote another book, threw it out there.
Yeah.
But perhaps I didn't understand, or I didn't put enough attention into the fact that I was climbing into a different set of, a different readership.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Okay. And then, so you talked about learning to do some teases, the cover reveal and that kind of stuff. Is your promotional journey, I guess, has that all been trial and error, or and here's some advice? Or
I have obviously witnessed a lot of different approaches, and I've witnessed people absolutely smashing the marketing and it paying off. But I'm not particularly that guy. I'm not a hard salesman. I'm not a social media guy that's constantly on social media jumping up and down about how great I am. That's not really my thing. So I do seriously struggle with just waving the book about here and there. I have to force myself to remember I've not told anyone about my book for a long time, and I should do. I mean, that's one of the reasons I wanted the podcast, because I wanted to have a presence in the community without having to constantly say, "Hey, my books are great. Everybody should buy them," because I don't particularly feel comfortable doing that. And I think I should be a little bit more than I am. But I also have a demanding job, a family, and that's
sorry about that. Hey. Quiet down. Okay.
I think your dog completely agrees with this.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Girl. Shush. Okay. Do you mind? I'm trying to do something here. Okay. I am really sorry about that. Probably getting something delivered, and she has to warn me. Hey.
Yeah.
I told you could be in here. You need to be quiet. All right. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Podcast is still in the community. Cool. And I've experienced this with some other authors and podcasts. Just having a podcast makes someone, like, oh, I like his perspective. Has he written something? Yeah. I mean, just that alone is probably a good form of marketing.
Hopefully, it's at least a baseline. Because if I didn't have that baseline, I would literally sort of pop up once in a while and go, "Hey, read my book," and that's not the way. I'm told that's not the way.
Sure. Other people have said, I don't know that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see. And interior design, that's all you, or you get some help with that? Or
yeah, I've not had any assistance with that.
Okay.
I do think I've learned a few things, and I've the spotlight has fallen on that a little bit more now, because I want to make sure that every release I put out is better in every, even if it's only better a tiny amount, it's better in every aspect in the last one.
Yeah.
So for Residuum, I did some kind of little like page break artwork and things like that. And it's little touches, and I understood the software a little bit more than the first time around. So I'm by no means like exceptional at that stuff, but hopefully by the 50th book, I'll be really good.
Go. Yeah. I mean, just like you said, just getting to know the software a little bit better. Like, oh, that's what that button does.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What can I do with it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you've done a couple of short stories for anthologies. How nice is it just to write something and give it to someone else and let them deal with the marketing and all that other stuff?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's difficult because the fine line, I guess this is the indie versus trad thing, is I do want to have control of everything.
Okay.
But I don't also want to do everything.
Yeah.
So it's constantly finding that balance. And an anthology, I mean, I've got a story in the upcoming Book of Spores by Fanfi Addict, which I feel very honored to be part of because the team took that and nailed every aspect of it, and it was beautiful. And we just had to write it and put it out, and it was amazing. And I've not had to worry about any of that stuff, and that is absolutely great. But my own work, it's all me, and I don't think I'm going to find a little monkey that can help me and be any good.
Yeah, no, not until you're a few more books in, and then you can start hiring a staff like Sanderson or something. Yeah. Okay. Book of Spores, your installment was great. The whole thing. I mean, I've read it. I got the ebook version of it. I am still super eager for my hardcover to show up.
Me too.
It just looks gorgeous, and the chance to see all the stories in that format.
And the artwork and how it all sort of weaves together will be a lot more apparent in the print version, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Normally when I do something like that, like okay, whatever, I'll just slap it on the shelf. But Book of Spores, I'm going to sit down with when it shows up. This is kind of off topic, but I have to know, like, did you guys know about the footnotes? You didn't write the footnotes? That was the editors doing that part, right?
Yeah. So we knew it was going to be, it was going to have a kind of universal theme, and it was going to be woven together. But having said that, the brief was very much like, you do you. Just put your version of the Book of Spores, whatever that means to you. Which is why I wrote what I wrote. And if I'm brutally honest, I was a little bit nervous about mine because I intentionally tried to write something a bit comical and a bit funny and a bit like entertaining, but I was worried that amongst some of the really deeper stuff, the darker stuff, and the more mushroom fungal based stuff, mine might be not up to scratch. But it's out there, and then you can't do anything about it now. So there it is.
Okay. So did you get to see any of this? Like, here's what we've done with your story. Here's where we're putting it. Here's the footnotes. Here's this kind of stuff. Or
we got little snippets here and there. It was a very inclusive kind of collaborative thing. We've got a Fanfi Edit, we've got a group chat, and there was lots of discussion, and lots of geeing people on to actually get their thing written, which is nice.
Well, I told you this before. I'll tell you it again. It wasn't too light. It wasn't too goofy. It was different. But every story in this collection is different. It fit in just wonderfully. It was one of the highlights for me. And not just because, like, oh my gosh, it's not just doom and gloom. That helped. That did help. I needed to bring all of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of gloom in there. Yeah.
But no, the couple of more sci-fi stories, balancing out the other stuff, really, I thought were great.
Excellent. That's
ignore
good.
your, oh no, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
There's
always a little voice in there. Always there.
Okay. So you've got Callous and Crow 2 coming out sometime this year.
Yep. Now I've said it on this recording, so I cannot get
Okay. Coming out soon. So other than the tweaking, are you done with that? Have you moved on, or are you just solidly working on this now, and then you're gonna take those notes?
Yes, I am writing something else. I'm collaborating with another author another fabulous author, and we're writing the story together. And so far it is magnificent. I'm really
Oh, really?
enjoying it. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's a new world. There's two of us, so we can kind of keep each other in check. It's a really good experience, and I'm loving it. So I don't know how long it'll take to finish, because both of us have said, there's no pressure, just keep trundling along when you've got time.
Sure.
So we both kind of work in spurts and then disappear for a little bit and then come back. But
So
I can't wait.
This is a whole new learning process for you on collaboration, and then it's going to be collaboration on the end result too. With
absolutely, and that's how it came about. So we were on a panel, and the panel ended up talking about the different ways that authors can collaborate on co-writing a book. It was an interesting discussion, and then the panel finished. I got off the panel, and then I got a message straight away saying, talking about this stuff, do you want to write a book? And I was like, yes, I do. And that was that, and we just got stuck in.
All right. Okay. So probably a good thing it wasn't a panel on self-dentistry or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks for this. I've enjoyed myself. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes to the business side, or learning how to do it for the first time, or for the slightly returning back?
If anybody's sort of looking at this stuff and going, I need to break into this community and kind of I need to learn stuff, I don't think I've ever met anyone or reached out to anyone in this community and kind of got the cold shoulder kind of, I'm too big for you, who the hell are you contacting me? Everyone's just always been really friendly. So I just say, just do it. Just get in touch. People might be really busy, if you reach out to an author who's like, they might not get back to you quickly.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just send them a thing and say, how the hell do you do this? I'm struggling with this. Can you help? And I'm pretty sure they will help. I certainly will. If you get in touch with me, I will do my best to impart what I've learned. No problem.
All right. So when this goes up, your inbox is gonna fill up, and you won't have time to do anything else. So Callous and Crow comes out in 2027, all because you told people to contact you. Okay. Well, I've had fun. I hope you have. Appreciate the time. And folks, when the new book comes out, I will be hyping it. Anyway, yeah, thanks a lot. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
All right. And let's end.